talk about a pay-per-view that has absolutely no stakes but good wrestling throughout? Tomas is already.
I'm going to stop you right there. Decent wrestling.
Oh wow,
it was decent. It was decent.
Man, you're just like you're going right for the throat, aren't you?
Remember when to everyone who thinks right off the bat we just rag on AEW and we're WWE fanboys? Absolutely not.
No,
we're gonna bury the fuck out of WWE on this one.
We are gonna bury the shit out of Vince McMahon, especially after he released all of those talented people. Here's a rundown: Keith Bearcat Lee, Karrion Kross, Scarlett, Mia Yim, John Morrison, Tegan Knox. Where are they, Vince? Huh? Hit row after you called them up a few weeks ago. God, he pisses me off. But anyway, but he gave us Survivor Series 2021 in the latest installment in the SmackDown versus Raw saga that never seems to end. I'll get into this closer to the end, but hey, if you guys enjoyed discussing wrestling, smash that subscribe button down below and hit that thumbs up, because Tomas and I are a little bit triggered. I mean, I feel the amazing thing is I feel like I liked this show more than you did. I feel like I enjoyed the wrestling a lot more.
So the past couple of weekends, we've had some pay-per-views. Remember, I was very irritated going into Full Gear because I had a hard time watching the pay-per-view, and it ended up being really fucking good. I was actually pretty excited for this show, all things considered. And I, of course, had a very easy time watching it, but I was just irritated. I want to say irritated from the second match, probably until the main event, with some glimmers of hope here and there.
Yeah, but you want to talk about irritation right off the bat? You did not watch this pre-show. I made the mistake of watching the pre-show, and Vince McMahon egregiously put Shinsuke Nakamura on the kickoff because Damian Priest in a champion versus champion non-title match, which has no implications whatsoever.
Look, I'm going to jump the gun right away and say, considering what happens later on with this Battle Royal, this Battle Royal screamed pre-show, and it should have been on the pre-show. I know you're going to disagree with me because of who was in this Battle Royal, but in the grand scheme of things, and let's get this out of the way right now too. You remember every year they would do the scoreboard between Raw and SmackDown? They don't even do that tonight.
They didn't,
so
because
it does not matter.
Because Raw freaking slaughtered SmackDown. You want a spoiler alert, everybody? Raw freaking decimated SmackDown, except for the main event. I feel like, no, SmackDown won this one by hook or by crook, but Raw dominated on this show. But Pat McAfee, of course, is marking out for Shinsuke Nakamura, as he should, as everybody should be marking out for Shinsuke.
Yeah, and I was really excited for this match because this Nakamura and Priest are pretty good parallels. They're WWE's resident rock stars. Like you could have had a ton of fun with this match.
Yeah,
this could have been a sleeper hit if you would have put it on the actual show. And considering Nakamura is really good, and considering the fact that Priest has actually grown into a fantastic wrestler, jaw-jacking with the likes of Sheamus and
can I ask?
I'm going to throw T-Bar a bone. I really enjoyed the matches he had with him.
No, Damian Priest and T-Bar had a really good no disqualification match on Raw, otherwise known as Dominik Dijakovic. I just realized I called him by the incorrect WWE name that they're trying to force on us. But can I just ask you what the heck this new theme song is for Damian Priest? Because I'm a numbnuts, and it took me this long to realize that Damian Priest's name is basically the gimmick they're trying to pull off, that Damian is the name of the devil and Priest is supposed to be the embodiment of good. So they're trying to, basically what Priest's gimmick is now, for those who have not wasted their time with Monday Night Raw like I have, is that Priest is basically good and evil at the same time. Like he has this weird trigger that if you set it off, he just turns evil and beats the shit out of you for no reason. And that made sense when he did it to T-Bar, just because, here's a more aggressive side of Priest. But considering what he ends up doing tonight, it ends up, he comes off like a jerk. Like, you're basically saying that Damian Priest's gimmick is just being a tweener. Like, that's all it is.
So let's get to the ending to this match. So basically, apparently throughout the entire match, Priest is yelling at Rick Boogs.
because
who has
Boogs
been
keeps playing the guitar.
Yeah, and like apparently this distracts Damian Priest. Like, why should it? You know, like he's just playing music. It's like It's like if you're playing SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, and one of the characters like looks at the screen and tells whoever's playing the computerized music to stop because it's distracting them. Like, it's so weird. It's so bizarre.
Let me get this right,
like,
Priest. Boog's electric guitar bothers you, but the thousands of fans that are sitting around you who are, you know, chattering to themselves throughout this entire match, that doesn't set you off? If you can tune out the fans and the white noise, then you can tune out Rick Boogs. Come on.
Well,
you're the United States champion. Come on, Priest.
This isn't a knock on Damian Priest, the talent at all, because, you know, Damian Priest, formerly known as Punishment Martinez, is fantastic, but like, this is gonna be a recurring theme through this show. Good wrestling to try and camouflage the bad booking that's going on, and this has been prevalent for a long, long time. But
you know what? I'm gonna go as far as saying that the booking at Extreme Rules was worse than this show, because at the end of the day, none of these matches are going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Extreme Rules made us look like we were a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yeah, but Damian Priest basically beats up Rick Boogs on the outside, breaks his guitar in half, much to Pat McAfee's chagrin at ringside, and then he hits Shinsuke with a piece of the guitar, and he gets himself disqualified. What was so wrong with Shinsuke just pinning Damian Priest here with the Kinshasa? What was so wrong
100% agree with you.
Like,
if you're going to have, if Priest is your, okay, again, I have made this comparison before. Your champions are supposed to represent the best in that division. If Nakamura is supposed to be your top mid-card guy on SmackDown, and if Priest is supposed to be your top mid-card guy on Raw, you know, WWE has this weird mindset of, oh, we got to protect both of them. Well, isn't this what Survivor Series is all about? Trying to figure out who the better man is?
Yeah. Yeah.
One of these guys, if Nakamura can take a fucking pin to Los Lotharios, he can take a pin to Priest. If Priest, who has been pretty damn protected on Monday Night Raw, you know, if he lost this match, it would have been like, you know what? Priest made his match. And it's not like you're going to have to defend his title against Nakamura.
Exactly.
I don't think it hurts Priest.
Yeah, Shinsuke could have very easily beaten Damian Priest here, or vice versa. Wrestling really isn't that hard. Just don't give us a disqualification on a pay-per-view. Like,
every single pay-per-view.
God,
every single pay-per-view.
I mean, it's a decent match. It's a 2.5-star match. I mean, it was getting good by the end. There was a really nice roundhouse sequence between the two, but a poor finish to really put a sour taste in my mouth to start the show. And that's not really what you want to do, is it? It really isn't.
Absolutely not.
But anyway, yeah, Damian Priest lost anyway, too. And he was the one who hit Shinsuke with the guitar. So, like, if you really wanted to, like, have Damian Priest lose, just have Shinsuke pin him. There's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly, because in the grand scheme of things, and I'm going to be saying this a lot, this match doesn't matter. They're on opposite shows. They're not going to show up at each other's shows and continue the feud. If they wanted to do that, they would have drafted Priest to SmackDown or drafted Nakamura to Raw.
Right.
This isn't going to go anywhere.
So
this pre-show has already left a sour taste in our mouth. It's only going to get worse with the opening video package. You heard me right.
Oh,
the opening video package. So WWE decided that one of their big four of the year is going to take a backseat to The Rock's new movie that is Netflix exclusive. And this is not a knock on him or Ryan Reynolds.
I saw that movie in theaters, by the way, before it ever hit Netflix, and I thought it was really good. I've got a review for Red Notice out on my channel, by the way, for anybody curious. I thought it was fun. It was a fun movie, you know, but like...
It's not a knock on Rock and Reynolds, but I don't want Survivor Series to revolve around it when it didn't revolve around it at all leading up into this.
Right, but you know why that is because this year's Survivor Series celebrated 25 years of The Rock, and they could not get The Rock on this show because The Rock is...
all the other ways they could have celebrated The Rock.
Yeah.
Plugging his movie. Oh my God.
Insulting. Yeah, the product placement will only get worse, but let's talk about...
I get it. Product placement in professional wrestling is a tale as old as time. You could go all the way back to WCW when they were promoting RoboCop by having RoboCop team with Sting. You know,
and they had freaking what's his guts, Chucky from Child's Play, cut a promo with Rick Steiner, father to Bronson Steiner of NXT, because I refuse to call him by that stupid name as well. But
how ironic is it that Chucky ended up hosting Halloween Havoc this past NXT, which also angered me. So it's a tale as old as time, but WWE just made it so blatant and so just fucking stupid on this show. Like, I have never seen an opening promo package to a pay-per-view revolve around a movie like that.
Yeah.
You know, I know they just did it with WrestleMania Backlash, but at least that was a Thunderdome show. This was so just, angered me from the start.
Yeah, well, they had a whole lumberjack match catered around Army of the Dead, which starred Batista. So, I mean, what can he do? But Tomas, let's talk about the best thing on this show. Let's talk about the best thing on this show.
Let's kick this off. Let's stop the negativity for now, and let's kick this off with big. In my opinion, this was the most, sought after match on the show. Mm-hmm. It's Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch taking on SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair.
Uh-oh.
How'd you feel about this match, Zach?
Oh God, that promo by Charlotte is one of the most cringe things I've ever heard on WWE programming, and I've been watching this stuff for no, I didn't. I've been watching this stuff for almost 20 years now, and Charlotte's promo, it was so bad.
You're gonna get mad. You're gonna get mad if I get a shirt, if they make a shirt that says that, and I get it.
I'm gonna judge you so hard. But, I mean,
remember, you met me wearing a Charlotte Flair shirt.
That's very true. That's very true. Do it with Flair. That might be another story for another time on how Tomas and I actually met up in person for the first time. But
maybe I'll wear my Miss WrestleMania shirt. Okay, I'll lay this out right now. If Charlotte Flair goes into WrestleMania as the women's champion this year, which is a very possible, thing, I will wear my Miss WrestleMania shirt on the night she is defending the title for that review.
Fair. All right. But you're on.
Here first.
You're on. I'll hold you to that. But Becky and Charlotte was built around real life animosity. And it was all built around a stupid WWE gimmick that they did, the championship swap. Because Becky and Charlotte had the opposite titles of the brands that they were drafted to last month. And Sonya Deville has them both in the ring, and they have to switch up the titles. And I'm not going to go into any further detail about it. You know how stupid it was, and Charlotte was extremely unprofessional, making Becky Lynch look extremely stupid. So you could tell that Becky was pissed off coming out to the ring. So.
You know what's weird, though? I was watching that episode of SmackDown, and I'm not going to lie, I was only half paying attention to it, but I did see the spot where Becky Lynch threw the SmackDown belt at Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think much of it. I was like, oh shit, that was kind of, but then the next day I was reading upon it. Apparently, that wasn't supposed to happen. And I was like, oh shit, imagine throwing a 20-pound piece of gold at someone like that.
Well, it's about
see it coming.
I mean, I'm not going to say that what Charlotte did was the right thing to do. It was entirely unprofessional, but did I laugh when Charlotte finally stood up to the stupid booking? Someone had to. A championship swap? It's ridiculous.
And apparently, it wasn't even revolved around the title swap. Apparently, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair's real-life friendship has been very shaky this past year or so, ever since Becky Lynch has been gone.
Well.
And there have been rumors this is why they got drafted to separate shows. They can't be, professional about one another. There was rumors that Vince was going to take one of the titles off of Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair just to, put them in the doghouse. They got heat. Let me just say, I'm glad none of those rumors were true because I wanted to see this match.
Yep, and it was a match built on real-life animosity, and oddly enough, at a show centered around controversy, the Survivor Series, Becky Lynch, with her Wanda Maximoff impression, is looking to kill Charlotte Flair here, because anybody who's watching this, try and tell me otherwise that Becky Lynch was not doing a WandaVision cosplay here. You can't.
Oh, absolutely. My only issue with it is that the knee pads were a bit excessive. They went halfway over her knee.
They looked
pointing up, and they look super uncomfortable.
They looked like Matt Sydal circa 2010.
God damn, yes they did.
God,
but
it was
if you're
so
saying
bad.
Becky Lynch was Wanda, don't you think Charlotte Flair had a little bit of Agatha in her ring gear?
Little bit.
That's the vibe I got. I got a little bit of Agatha.
I mean, it's better than a Venom cosplay at Extreme Rules, but in any case, the
Also,
crowd.
The blue nails were a nice touch. It reminded me of when she painted her nails yellow when she was challenging for the NXT Women's title.
Yes, yeah, no, it's a great little touch for sure. But the crowd was way, way, way into this match. These two were, aside from the two guys in the main event who we'll get to, these were the two biggest stars on this show. Wasn't even close. Wasn't even close.
If I were to describe this match in one sentence, I would say stiff, almost to the point where it was sloppy.
Yeah. It felt like a real fight, though, for sure.
Very stiff. Not all of the spots didn't hit as hard as they should have at some points, but there was still some good shit in this match. And I'm going to half criticize some of Charlotte Flair's offense in this match because there was some stuff she did that were really good. But then there was some stuff that was just like, you still need to work on it.
Are you talking about the Andrade moonsault? Because I thought that was fine.
It still doesn't look good. No.
I'm gonna disagree.
It's never going to be as smooth as Andrade.
I think it's the best it's looked since she started.
It's not a knock on her trying to imitate Andrade. It's the fact that ever since 2016, I still hold that Charlotte Flair does not do a good moonsault.
Yeah, especially the one to the outside, which looks like she did not hit Becky Lynch at all. It just looks like Becky clotheslined her in midair.
Looks a lot nicer than her regular moonsault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd like to see Charlotte try out the spiral tap that AJ Styles made popular in TNA.
Oh yeah,
but
we're getting ahead of ourselves. We're in the beginning of stages of this match. You know,
I know.
As JR would say, there's ham bones being thrown in this match. They are just trying to glob each other.
You know, as sloppy as it was, Tomas, this was my favorite match on this show. It really was. And you know why that is?
This was easily one of the better matches of the show.
You know why that is, though? It's because of all the finisher steals. Charlotte Flair hitting
Charlotte
Flair hits a Bexploder. Becky Lynch with the figure 4. Charlotte Flair with the disarm her. Give me more. Give me more of that. I love it. I love it so much.
I'm going to steal some quotes from Brian Zane's review that I did listen to in preparation for this review. They said that him and Jay, I need to credit Jay. He's a fantastic wrestling reviewer. They said that if there is still some animosity between Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch, they sure as hell were able to put it to the side, and they put together a fantastic match here. They really for the most part, firing off on all cylinders. You talk about the Bexploder. Becky Lynch goes for a T-bone suplex just to Charlotte Flair reverse it, and Charlotte Flair hits a T-bone suplex into the corner, which is always a nasty spot for Charlotte Flair to hit. Becky Lynch hits her leg drop, which I really like that move. She hits a draping leg drop over the apron onto Charlotte Flair. I want to say the only sloppy part of this match is when they were trying to fist with each other.
Yeah, they were trying to fist fight. Becky got a few hard slaps in there, and she was hitting Charlotte as hard as she freaking could with those European uppercuts. It was, you could definitely tell these two did not like each other. But
but as you were talking before, Charlotte Flair tries the fake out moonsault into another moonsault. I didn't think, when she hit the first backflip, she stuck it. That looked pretty good. It's the fact that when she does a moonsault, it just looks like she doesn't want to bump for it. And I don't know if it's because she's so tall. I don't know if it's because she's kind of lanky in her own right. But when she went for that second moonsault, she just landed it so gently onto Becky Lynch. And it's not like, Andrade, who just flip without hesitation into the other moonsault, and he makes impact every time he does that.
Yeah, if only he could do that more often on All Elite Wrestling's programming. But anyway, so the match basically comes to the point where I read Flair on my notes, tells you how tired I am. And I was like, okay, Rick had the disarmer, but no, it was Charlotte. It was indeed Charlotte. Thank God.
If Rick ever tried to disarm her, I think I would die of a stroke. If Rick ever went for a moonsault, I would go into cardiac arrest.
So Charlotte goes for a victory roll, and Flair holds onto the ropes. The ref counts 2, but then the ref catches Charlotte's hand in the ropes, and he's like, nope, you can't do that. Becky then rolls up Charlotte, and Becky holds onto the ropes because she is the top babyface in WWE right now, surely. And she gets the pinfall. The ref does not catch Becky's hand on the ropes. Thank God Becky beats Charlotte Flair, who then looks at the camera and says, tell the dirt sheets I'm the freaking best. She is.
So
she really is.
I don't want to say I want to give WWE credit for this good finish. I think I should be giving the ladies in this match most of the credit because number one, as you said, this was a heel versus heel match, but I think Becky Lynch did an excellent job of playing the face in this match
Yeah.
with still being the heel at the end of this. In this match, you can tell that Becky Lynch is the lesser of two evils, but she still was a cheating bitch at the end. But in a way that it was respectable. You know, it's like she pulled a fast one on Charlotte Flair, and that's nothing that Becky Lynch wouldn't, you know, also normally do. Like, that's something that her character would obviously do. Also, props. You know, I'm surprised that Becky Lynch won this match because Charlotte Flair is so protected. But this was excellent.
Thrilled.
You know what? I really like this match. I'll give it 4.25. This was really good.
I'm gonna up it to 4.25 as well. I initially had it at 4, but this was my match of the night for sure. I definitely really enjoyed this. I don't think it was their best match. I don't think it holds a candle to their 2018 feud that they had, which was an instant classic rivalry there.
Doesn't hold a candle to their last woman standing match they had in Evolution.
Yeah. That's another topic for another time. But but Becky Lynch looks at the camera. She says, "Tell the dirt sheets I'm the freaking best." And yeah, I agree. Becky Lynch may be the best thing going in WWE right now, even though she is egregiously a heel. But in any case, we move on then to a story tradition in the Survivor Series.
Wait, hold on. Before we get to that, we got a little bit of buffer in between, and this was so weird. So we're starting to get Rock memories because, as you said, this is the 25th anniversary of The Rock. So we got
let's talk
about this Series. Okay, that's totally fine. But then we go to a random video package of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah. That was so bizarre.
Like, I could understand because, you know, if you watch WWE Network's regular stream of shows, like they'll show like, here's a documentary. And then in between the show, they have like little buffers. Like they'll be like, oh, catch Stone Cold's podcast. Watch every episode of NXT here.
WrestleMania tickets are on sale in Dallas, you know?
Yeah, like they might throw in a random, here's a video package. It looked like that, but I was sitting there thinking, I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything?
Yeah.
You know, now, if they wanted to show this video package into McIntyre getting drafted to SmackDown, that's fine on an episode of SmackDown.
Right.
But this is a pay-per-view.
Not on pay-per-view. I mean,
and spoiler alert, this is not the last one of these we're going to get. It's just going to get weirder from here.
No, we get a weird Bobby Lashley promo like right before the main event. And I was like, what does Bobby Lashley have to do with this next match? I mean, he's not challenging Big E at any point soon, but
it was so weird. And I don't want to hear like, oh, WWE's trying to stretch with the pay-per-view. This was a long pay-per-view.
3.5 hours.
It was like, like I started
really did not
when
need
I
to
got
be
home
this
for
long.
my show. And then before you know, I look at the clock and it's 9 o'clock, and I'm like, the fuck? I thought we were done with this WWE. They easily could have shaved 45 minutes off this pay-per-view.
They really could have.
With all the stupid buffer that we're going to talk about.
Battle Royal, but okay, never mind. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm sorry. Sometimes randomly
chill. But anyway, let's get to the story tradition of this show. The traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. On the men's side, you have Team Raw, which is composed of Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Austin Theory, who I'm very excited to talk about, along with the aforementioned Bobby Lashley, going up against the Team SmackDown comprised of Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Sheamus, and Happy Corbin, along with his damn sidekick and his dad jokes. My word. And a partridge in a pear tree.
So let's get into the weird buildup to this match that was. These were not the original teams.
No.
This match might as well have been called Card Subject to Change. Because this Team Raw, I mean, first of all, started off with not Lashley and Theory, but with the Mysterios, Rey and Dominic.
Yep.
Dominic got kicked off after he lost to Lashley. Mysterio got kicked off after he lost to Lashley and was placed with Theory. Sami Zayn was supposed to be on Team SmackDown instead of Sheamus. He got kicked off after just having a random squabble with Jeff Hardy in the back.
Yep.
So here's the thing. If they were going to do all this card subject to change, why didn't they just do qualifying matches from the start?
Or better yet, why don't you just do like regular old traditional Survivor Series matches with all these rivalries coming together, a la 2006? Like, you can cross brands and make weird teams out of that. And that's what made the Survivor Series so special growing up to me. So, like,
imagine if this was what's a good example? Team what's going on? Like, they wouldn't go this far, but imagine if it was like Team Reigns versus Team Lesnar.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Imagine
what if it was Team Big E
versus Team Rollins, and that would give them an excuse to bring the New Day back together.
That would, exactly right. That would be like, imagine Team Rollins versus Team Edge, something like that, to reignite that feud and then to start new ones. That's what the Survivor Series was all about. But instead, you have teams...
make fun of it all you want, but Team Orton versus Team Barrett from 2011, you give a guy like Wade Barrett an opportunity to be a leader like that. Team Miz versus Team Morrison from 2009.
Yep. Team Kingston versus Team Orton from 2009. There you go. That's another example.
That's how you make stars, but Raw versus SmackDown because.
Instead, you have Raw versus SmackDown, and you have certain, team dynamics like Seth Rollins and Finn Balor after Seth forced Finn to relinquish the Universal Championship 5 years ago. You have Finn Balor and Bobby Lashley after Bobby Lashley and his weird contacts lost to the Demon at Mania 35.
You have Jeff Hardy and Sheamus after Sheamus made fun of Jeff Hardy's alcohol addiction, and Jeff Hardy literally threw piss in Sheamus' face.
You have Drew McIntyre and Sheamus after they beat the crap out of each other at Fastlane. You remember that? I'm sure a lot of people...
I do. You have, even Happy Corbin and McIntyre is a weird pairing. Also, here's my second thing I want to get into with this match. Look at Team Raw. Just look at them.
Yeah.
Former Universal and WWE Champion, winner of the Royal Rumble, Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins. First ever Universal Champion and one of the longest reigning NXT champions in history, Finn Balor. Former Universal Champion, Kevin Owens. Former WWE Champion, Bobby Lashley. And a brand new, fresh star in Austin Theory. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, you got Drew McIntyre and a bunch of dorks on Team SmackDown.
Oh, you're calling Jeff Hardy a dork? You're calling King Woods a dork? Well, King Woods, okay, you're right on King Woods. They've been booking
King Woods like a dork the past couple weeks.
Yeah, King Woods doesn't have all of his props now. I love King Woods' new theme, though. Like, ever since he was present as the King of the Ring. Side note, thank you for making the right decision by having Woods beat Finn Balor at Crown Jewel to become the King of the Ring. That was absolutely the correct decision. Well, Edge and Rollins. Yeah, Edge and Rollins in the match of the year. But in any case, so there is a big squabble on who's going to start for Team Raw. Kevin Owens insists that he starts the match. Bell rings. Kevin Owens immediately rolls out of the ring with King Woods standing on the other side, and he gets himself counted out because he does not care about this match. Right there, right freaking there, Kevin Owens exposed that this match does not matter. If Kevin Owens does not care, why should I care? You're making all these other guys look like dorks.
If I'm going to continue this trope of quoting really good wrestling reviewers that I know, my good buddy, Good Mike Work, that I watch very regularly, made a very good point in his Survivor Series match when he was reviewing this match. Why is anybody competing in this match?
They have
Why
no
should
incentive.
Rollins and Balor and Lashley in theory have Raw pride? Why should McIntyre and Hardy have Raw pride when they just came from SmackDown?
Especially when the draft was just a little over a month ago. Like, there's no reason for them to have pride.
Survivor Series 2004, where Triple H and Randy Orton's teams were competing over control over Raw.
I remember that.
This isn't Lesnar and his, which we're going to be reviewing this show very soon. Lesnar and his team of literal monsters taking on the White Knees babyface team of Kurt Angle's squad.
Yeah.
This is not, this is nothing. There's no stakes.
Absolutely nothing.
And people were saying like, oh, they're jobbing Owens on the way out because he's leaving. I'm like, okay, I understand. You want to see Owens leave WWE, but how does this translate into that? This is just the continuing story of what they're doing with Owens on Raw. If they really wanted to job Owens out, he would have gotten Claymore the minute the bell rung.
Yep, that's exactly right. Yeah, Kevin Owens did not get pinned, but he just basically told us that this match does not matter. Like, imagine if the whole Survivor Series is said and done, and the winning brand is allowed to have the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble. Like, there would at least be some stakes there. The sole survivor. Yeah. I mean, well, that would basically dictate that whoever, both those matches ended with sole survivors, which you can't exactly do. But
fair enough.
It's it was a nicely wrestled match, I suppose.
Yeah. Also,
it was very much a
a
mixed bag.
Point. Let's just say Adam Pearce was the general manager of Raw and Sonya Deville was the general manager of SmackDown. And imagine if Pierce, who was turning heel, by the way, got all the troops together and said, like, I'm going to tell you all this right now. If you win this match, all of you are getting future WWE title matches. Literally every single one of you, I'm going to line you up. You're all going to get a title shot against Big E. You know, that's motivation right there. Or if Sonya Deville said the same thing, I'm like, whoever, you know what? I can't stand Seth Rollins. Whoever gets him out of there, you get a shot at Roman Reigns' Universal title.
Yeah, something.
Motivate these guys.
Yeah, these writers are just lazy. But the wrestlers, again, they're trying their best. Finn Balor's in there working. Happy Corbin. Which is
if you were putting together a team, would you want the dork wearing the colorful flannel shirt and he doesn't even wear wrestling gear, he wears the fedora?
He just won the lottery, and now he's out there, you know, he's a former King of the Ring, and he has the new King of the Ring on his team. Like, shouldn't he want to feud with King Woods over the crown?
I'm sorry. Like, Happy Corbin's gimmick does not make me scared to fight him. If I was in a ring with Happy Corbin, I would not be scared of him. Give credit to where credit is due. If I was in the ring with King Corbin, at least I know King Corbin's going to punch me in the mouth.
Yeah.
Happy Corbin looks like he wants to take me on a fancy steak dinner.
Exactly.
On a yacht.
Exactly. No, like if I run into Happy Corbin, I would like, hey, you want to go grab a drink at the bar after the show? And he'd probably say yes.
Yeah, he'd probably be a douchebag about it, but at least I wouldn't be scared of him.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, Finn Balor's working Happy Corbin. There is a pretty deep 6 on Finn. And basically, I mean, it gets to a point where Finn just hits him with a coup de grace and pins him, and he's out of there. Like, so much for Happy Corbin. Is it just me, or is Finn Balor versus Jeff Hardy kind of a dream match? They kind of gave it to us a little bit.
You know
I know you don't care about Jeff Hardy in 2021.
No, you know how I just have like these weird times where I'm like, yeah, Jeff Hardy, and then I'm like, Jeff Hardy on this show. I was like, Jeff Hardy, he's there.
He's very wishy-washy about Jeff Hardy, guys. In case
anybody's new here. WWE doesn't want him to go to AEW.
Well, you know he's going to.
God forbid he go wrestle with his brother one more time before he calls it quits for good, because he has gone out of his way to say that he wants to team with Matt one more time before he retires. And you know WWE is terrible for keeping him from doing that.
Jeff is just checking things off the bucket list right before he hangs it up. He still has yet to have a Universal title match with Roman Reigns. He still has yet to wrestle Edge one more time. I know that's something he's wanted to do. And he's yet to
he was rocking the Edge drip on SmackDown this past Friday.
God.
So
am I the only one who
planting the seeds?
Am I the only one who hates that new Edge shirt? I just think it's the most generic wrestling shirt I've ever seen in my life. Like,
oh my God,
bar none. But
that just goes to show how much we care about this match. We are getting way
I know, but yeah, you want to talk about King Woods and his flurry for a second, his brief bursts of power? Like,
I am very happy that King Woods is getting the push he's getting on SmackDown. He is a hair away of getting a Universal title match of his own, and that's going to be a fantastic match.
Can't wait.
He did pretty well in this match. He was hitting the honor roll. He was hitting all of his greatest hits, and then he gets snuffed out real quick by Lashley.
Yeah. I wrote down King Woods passes out to the full Lashley. BS. Literally.
Yeah.
But
you know, I would rather have seen King Woods make it to the end over Jeff Hardy. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, but
especially if you're trying to make Woods a credible opponent for Roman Reigns.
You have him jobbed to Bobby Lashley, but we'll get to him in a moment. But yeah, there's a nice spot where Seth and Finn hit sling blades in stereo, which I thought was a really cool visual. And then we get Lashley versus Drew McIntyre one more time after their incredible hoss fights over this past year and a half.
Now, let me tell you, after I said this too in our reviews, now that we got a break from this, it was nice to see again.
It was really nice to see it again, for sure. And they start brawling outside. I was sitting there like, do not count both of them out. Don't you do it.
Well, they started protecting McIntyre pretty good in the beginning because they had him take that spot where Lashley puts him on his shoulders and rams him into the steel post, which Lashley has gotten a lot better at that. You know, it's good to see improvement in those dangerous spots. So McIntyre's laid out for a good moment. And then when he starts brawling with Lashley, he tries it again, and McIntyre gets the upper hand. And then I see the referee counting. He's up to 6, and I'm like,
I was like, don't you
motherfucker,
dare count them out. Don't you dare
the
count
two
them out.
biggest monsters in this match.
And then both of them are counted out, and the Barclays Center in Brooklyn hated this. Hated it. And they like let the referee have it. They wanted to see those guys fight even more. They wanted to see Drew McIntyre claymore him. Like,
since we're edging towards the end of the year, I will say Lashley, the most dominant wrestler of 2021, and Drew McIntyre, basically the leader of Team SmackDown, got counted out.
yeah, on the final pay-per-view of 2021, mind you. That is your lasting impression, unless you watch Raw or SmackDown week to week. But yeah, he hits a claymore on Bobby Lashley for good measure, but I'm like, again, why couldn't you have Drew get some payback and eliminate Lashley by pinfall? Like,
I get why to protect Lashley, but I don't think... Again, 2 reasons for that. Number one, Lashley losing to McIntyre just goes shows like we had to bust up the Scottish Warrior to take this guy out. And second of all, McIntyre would finally get his win back.
It's interpromotional, though. It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, like, McIntyre, who lost to Lashley 3 times in their feud, can't get his win back.
He can't, but he can.
People are saying that they're wondering if they're building towards an interpromotional match or WrestleMania. I'm like, oh God, please no.
The Drew McIntyre.
Please no.
You heard it here first. Drew McIntyre has got to be the one to take the Universal title off of Roman Reigns. I'm calling it. I'm calling it right now. Tomas doesn't like it, but
with The Rock,
no,
cooking.
Oh, no, it's not going to be The Rock. It's not going to be The Rock, especially.
The
okay,
Rock says. The Rock.
The Rock says. This
Rock,
shows you clearly how much we care about this match. We're just singing The Rock's banger of a theme song going into 1999. But yeah,
finish your thought, please.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, Drew has got to be the guy to take the title off of Roman, because Roman versus The Rock, which should happen in WrestleMania Hollywood, because Tomas and I will both be there, and I selfishly want to see The Rock wrestle, but
the WWE can't help themselves. They're gonna pee themselves.
It's put the title on Drew. Put the title on Drew. It's the right thing to do. But,
I'm not saying I don't want that. I would love to see that, but I don't trust WWE as far as I can throw them at this point.
But he hits a claymore on Lashley, and then just for good measure, Seth Rollins, who is laughing his heart out at Drew McIntyre so obnoxiously, is hit so hard with a headbutt. And then I don't remember who tried to pin Seth at that point, but it was a very close kick out. We get
I'm sure it was Sheamus.
I'm sure it was Sheamus, because he was in there wrestling with Finn Balor for a little bit. And
I will even go as far as saying Sheamus was the MVP of this match.
Sheamus was having a lot of fun in this match. You could really tell. And you can tell Sheamus is on the run of his life right now. How have we never, I don't think we've ever got Sheamus versus Finn Balor one-on-one in a big match.
No, we haven't. They've been on opposite shows every time.
I would love to see Finn Balor versus Sheamus at least once before Sheamus calls it quits. But Sheamus does hit Finn Balor with a bro kick, and Finn Balor's out of there. See you bye. So we're down to 2-on-2. It's Seth Rollins and Austin Theory, of all people.
Also, aren't you so glad
Sheamus
that Finn Balor spent all that time in NXT rebranding himself just to come back to the main roster and go back to exactly what he was doing when he left?
Every time Finn Balor makes his entrance now, I'm like, don't you smile, Finn. Don't you do it. That's exactly what ruined you.
You know
That's exactly what ruined you. I'm
actually going to go as far as saying I was so upset when Balor went back to doing this.
Yeah, no, he can do that, but then just do that. Do the guns after that. Please. Like, you know.
Anywho, let's talk about something cool, Austin Theory.
Yeah, Austin. Okay, Austin Theory's gimmick is freaking hilarious. I don't care what anybody says. Basically, Austin Theory goes in there, he wrestles a match, and then with his downed opponent, he pulls out a cell phone, and he gets a selfie with his downed opponent. Like, he did that to Jeff Hardy a bunch before Jeff Hardy left to SmackDown. But
my favorite was when he snuck up behind Rey Mysterio and snapped one real quick while he wasn't looking.
Oh, it's so ridiculous. And like, the only one who was getting into the selfie gimmick was Seth Rollins. Like, Finn Balor and Kevin Owens were having none of it, none of his crap. But
even, and this plays into what we saw on Raw tonight. Theory tried to do it to Big E last week.
Yeah.
And Big E quickly swatted that phone out of his hands.
Well,
it's just like he's going to piss off the wrong guy.
As fun as the gimmick is, Austin Theory, I feel like the sky is the limit for this guy. He has all the potential in the world. I mean, I'm sure there was like one of the commentators, working this match. He called Austin Theory a blue chipper, which is kind of likening to The Rock 25 years ago. I'm not saying Austin Theory has the potential that The Rock had, but I feel like, Austin Theory, very, very high ceiling in WWE.
They are handling Theory very well, to my surprise.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to job this guy out from day one. He was going to be competing for the 24/7 title, and he would be among these guys that are unfortunately getting fired. He has pinfall victories over 3 former world champions at this point. I was saying last night, have this guy bust out a Mr. Kennedy and start listing them off every single time he comes to the ring.
And that
Kennedy
includes
used to brag how he pinned Benoit, Booker T, Rey Mysterio, and had disqualification victories over Kane and The Undertaker.
Yeah. So Austin Theory should start doing that, especially after, before I get to that, Sheamus, like I said, he was having so much fun in this match. He actually was the launching pad for Jeff Hardy to hit Poetry in Motion. And I was like, more! I want more stolen finishers. Jeff Hardy was hitting the 10 beats of the ball drum. Like, what the hell?
I'm just scared that all this fun is going to get snuffed out real quick, and they're going to use this as an excuse to revive the rivalry on SmackDown.
Yeah, but basically,
I mean, it will be some fun TV matches, but I don't want to see it go into a pay-per-view again or anything. Like, please.
No, but Austin Theory does roll up Sheamus and he pins him. That's another world champion Austin Theory holds a pinfall win over, and Sheamus is not very happy, so he clotheslines his tag team partner for good measure. Because why not? Why not?
That's what I was alluding to. I'm scared this is just going to revive the rivalry. Again, you want to have some fun matches on TV? Great. Don't bleed this into any pay-per-views. But then again, what are you going to book at day one? I'm scared that this pay-per-view is just going to be filled with a bunch of random meaningless matches.
You know what really bugged me about this elimination wasn't necessarily that Sheamus betrayed Jeff Hardy after he was done. Not that Austin Theory pinned Sheamus, but it was stupid Jimmy Smith, and bless his heart, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but I'm sure Vince McMahon told him to say this, but he was like, oh my gosh, Sheamus just bailed on his partner. He didn't bail.
No, he
Jimmy.
didn't.
He was eliminated, fair and square.
Sheamus basically said, I am eliminated. This match is over for me. There's no point in this. I'm going to beat the fuck out of this guy because I want to.
God, man,
It would have been different. It would have been different if Sheamus would have clotheslined Hardy when he was still in the match. And then if Sheamus wanted to take a walk, that's him walking on with his partner.
I guess Vince McMahon does not know what the word bail means these days, but yeah. So
Vince McMahon doesn't know what anything means.
Jeff Hardy gets his pin back on Austin Theory, hits him with a swanton, and we're left to Seth Rollins versus Jeff Hardy 1-on-1. This crowd really wanted Jeff Hardy to win. I'm sorry, Tomas, but they were chanting for him like nobody's business. It was very loud in that arena for Jeff.
It was one of those weird nights where Jeff Hardy is suddenly over again.
Right.
That's tongue in cheek. I know Jeff Hardy is still over as fuck. But why is WWE still relying on Jeff Hardy in 2021?
Jeff Hardy should have won this.
That's like if they were still depending on John Cena in 20. Ooh, wait.
Jeff Hardy, too soon. Relax. But Jeff Hardy,
they do though.
He should have won this. Seth Rollins did not need this victory. Not like it's gonna matter.
Swap Hardy with McIntyre, or hell, even King Woods, and then I would have agreed with you.
Okay.
But considering it was Hardy, I was like,
yeah, I kind of shrugged when Seth Rollins hit Jeff Hardy with a curb stomp with the 3 count. But I mean, it's a fun Survivor Series match. It's a very much a mixed bag. I can give it 3.5 and feel good about myself.
I can't give it 3.5. I give it 2 3/4 because in the grand scheme of it was pointless.
Hot take. Okay, so I hated the fact that there were 3 countouts in one Survivor Series match, but I did love Jeff Hardy's performance. I loved Sheamus's performance. Seth Rollins had a good showing, as he usually does. I really, really loves that they were pushing Austin Theory, though. Like, if they continue on with it, again, the sky's the limit.
Definitely, if I'm going to nitpick, Theory was definitely the most
he was the most highlighted person in this match, and he gained the most from being in this match.
Mm-hmm.
WWE don't overuse that really cool move he does, where he does a somersault into a dropkick.
That was so sick. That was so
sick move, but I've seen him do it like 3 times in one match, and I don't want that to be the only move because I know Theory can do a ton of really good moves.
You don't want you don't want it to become his V trigger. But anyway, so
Woo, you want to talk about hot takes?
Relax. Okay. Well, I'm sure there's gonna be no hot takes on this next match. You ready?
What
do we got?
Okay. I'm gonna try and explain this to my best ability without giving everyone and myself a migraine.
Crack another one open while I'm at it.
The Rock Memorial. Fuck it. I know that's not what it's called. I'm going to call it that. The Rock. He's not dead.
He's not dead.
Memorial. Battle. Royal. Let me say that again. The Rock. Memorial. Battle. Royal.
You sound like Chris Jericho circa 2007 asking Randy Orton for a title match.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wants title match.
I'm sorry. It's called The Rock's 25th anniversary 25-man battle royal.
Yep.
And it wasn't just that. Yeah. So the wrestlers start making their way to the ring, and Ricochet, AJ Styles, Omos, and the Street Profits all get individual entrances. And then I see like these tables on the side of the ramp. And at first I go, oh, that's cool. They're pie. The Rock's pie. That's funny. I like that. It's a nice touch. It wasn't the Rock's pie.
It was a different kind of pie. It was a different kind of pie.
This Battle Royal was not only for The Rock. It was a fucking sponsor for Pizza Hut.
Yes. Pretty mediocre pizza, if you ask me. But
whoa, that's a hot take.
Well, I mean, if you compare it to like Domino's or like hell, even Mountain Mike's, I mean,
okay, let's get out of the way now.
Pizza Hut over any of those.
AEW and Domino's better than WWE and Pizza Hut.
Skyler will be so proud of you. He will be so proud of you.
Pizza Hut turned heel on me at WrestleMania 33. When it was a pain in the ass to get pizzas for my WrestleMania viewing party.
Yeah. It's always going to be Domino's
heel
now.
On me, man.
They sure did. But so you're saying the winner of this Battle Royal gets Pizza Hut? Like, there's no incentive.
What a great prize.
I know, right?
Okay.
So you're telling me. Hold on.
Okay.
Can I ask you something? This is really the best you could have done for Ricochet. This is the best you could have done for Cesaro. This is the best you could have done for the Street Profits. This is the best you could have done for Sami Zayn. This is the best you could have done for the best damn wrestler on the planet right now. Come on, man. Like, really?
Okay, speaking of that, this is who was in this match. Drew Gulak, R-Truth, Otis, T-Bar, Cedric Alexander,
Alpha
Chad
Academy,
Gable, Eric, and Ivar, the Viking Raiders, Humberto, Jinder Mahal, Shelton Benjamin, Angel, Shanky, Mansoor, Robert Roode, Dolph Ziggler, Sami Zayn, Commander Aziz, AJ Styles, Apollo Crews, Cesaro, and the Street Profits. And Omos. I already mentioned Omos. And Ricochet.
Yeah.
And I mentioned Ricochet. Did I mention Ricochet? No, I didn't.
Well, Ricochet
Ricochet
deserves so much better than this. But
so the match starts, and I noticed that the Raw guys are wearing red with USA on the back. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And SmackDown is wearing blue. So I've seen this Battle Royal done in the past. We saw it last year, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It's Raw versus SmackDown. It's brand versus brand. It's for brand supremacy. So this whole pay-per-view has been about, right? So why the fuck are the Raw guys fighting the Raw guys? And why are the SmackDown guys fighting each other and eliminating each other?
That's a good question, man. That's a really good question. No point except to promote Pizza Hut and make AJ Styles, Cesaro, R-Truth. Well, R-Truth was already a geek, but I mean, you're making Otis
a fun geek.
You're making Otis look like a geek when R-Truth is feeding him pizza in the middle of a battle royal. Like,
this is what I would expected last year Otis to do. Not when you repackaged him and rebranded him to be, this ferocious monster that injures people. Believe it or not, a lot of people were picking Chad Gable to win this match. That was me last year. I remember last year I wanted Gable to win. This year I'm just like, Gable has his place on the card, and they're actually doing a very good job with Gable, all things considered.
Yeah.
No, this had nothing to do with Gable.
No.
Yeah, they made Otis look like a geek.
The crowd, when you hear the crowd chanting, "We want pizza," you know something's wrong. You know something is very wrong with your battle royal. But
so this battle royal isn't for anything. It's not for a title shot. It's not for brand supremacy, obviously, if the same guys are going to be fighting the same guys.
Nope.
It's not for immunity from being fired for a year. It's not for a Royal Rumble spot. It's not for a trophy. It's for nothing. So why is this battle royal happening? It's happening for Omos.
It's to get Omos over and to have him have a face-off with Shanky, of all people, because that's what Vince wants us to see, is two
Andre Hogan.
Yeah, so
Kane, The Undertaker.
But this is no.
Big Show, Mark Henry.
We're not doing this.
Omos and Shanky.
One of these things is not like the other, clearly. Yeah, you fired Braun Strowman to make room for Omos and Shanky. Come on. Oh,
now. How the mighty have fallen. I remember WrestleMania, we were like marking out for Omos, and we were so proud and so surprised on how he performed.
He hasn't really improved.
So exposed tonight. He was so exposed tonight.
Yeah, and it was a battle royal, so like, you can't really do much there.
Hiding on the announce table.
Smartest guy in the match.
Before that, let me get into this. Did the Street Profits just fucking turn heel on the announce team? Because
they come out
with a box of pizza.
They turned heel on Byron Saxton.
And they go and they tease Byron with it, and they just give it to Colin Graves. I'm like, what's your fucking deal, man? What did Saxton ever do to you?
Because everybody's pulling jabs on Byron Saxton. But I know
he's a weirdo, but fuck, he didn't deserve that.
Can I say one more thing about Omos and Shanky real quick? So they zoom in on the two big green giants in the ring who are not ready for this spotlight. Vince McMahon wants you to see this matchup, and the crowd behind them is chanting AEW, and it was music to my ears. Music to my ears. I hope you were listening to that, Vince, because we do not want to see Omos versus Shanky. So
let's just say that wouldn't be the last of those chants you would hear, but all of those chants should have been directed in this match, and it should not have been where they were. That's one thing I'm disappointed in the fans in.
Mm-hmm.
This was all just so stupid. At this point, you realize this is not about brand versus brand, because they're all fighting each other for no reason, until Sami Zayn gets Cesaro and Ricochet together and actually is smart and said, hey guys, look, there's 3 SmackDown guys and there's like 7 Raw guys right now. Let's work together. And maybe Sonya Deville or Adam Pearce, which why would either of them have loyalty to any brand? They run both shows.
And SmackDown versus Raw. I don't like this at all.
Again, if Pearce was the general manager of Raw and Deville was the general manager of SmackDown, then of course it would work.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Sammy was the only one using logic.
This is like betting on both teams just so you won't end up the loser. What's that meme? Like, either way I win. Like, I forget what it's from.
It's WWE show A, WWE show B. There's nothing distinct about these shows. But can I just note that AJ Styles took a nasty spill to the outside when he was tossed? Is it too much to ask to put him back in the world title hunt where he belongs? Pretty please.
No, because he's got.
Can we do that?
Omos still.
Yeah.
They know once they get the ball and chain off of Omos that is supposedly Styles, that Omos is gonna sink like a fucking rock. Not the good kind of rock that we're used to.
Yeah. The Rock says
He's going to sink like a fucking stone. He's going to sink like the fucking Titanic that I am performing in right now.
Speaking of Rock, Omos did win this battle royal, last eliminating Ricochet. I really wanted Ricochet to Benoit Omos out of the ring. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I'm referring to where Chris Benoit literally pulled the Big Show out of the 2004 Royal Rumble at the very end.
But that's really cool, Zach. Why would Vince do anything that's cool?
Because he doesn't know what we want. He doesn't care about what we want.
We have to talk about Vince after this match.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, of course Omos wins this. Yeah, I can't give this more than a 1.5 stars, maybe 1.75 stars. I'm being
1 star. 1 star. One fucking star.
I mean, I'm giving it an extra 0.5 star just because AJ Styles eliminated Dolph Ziggler and made my night a little bit better. So, one of my favorites taking out one of my least favorites, if not my least favorite on the roster. So.
And then it gets worse.
It does
Styles
get worse.
Wants to celebrate with pizza.
Oh!
And then the Street Profits show up and they steal the pizza and they're throwing it into the audience. Also, Good Mike Work made a good point that looked like some stale ass pizza.
Right? It sure did. And they were throwing it as far as they could into the crowd.
Because here's the thing. I was looking at the box and I was like, holy shit, 3 pizzas and some breadsticks and some cinnamon bread? Like, that sounds delicious. But you look at it and it's just like, this shit looks like it's made out of glue. And
well, because it's Pizza Hut. You see my point? You see my point?
So,
okay,
I can't wait. And you know how this is me being sarcastic. Can't wait to tune into Raw and watch Street Profits versus AJ Styles and Omos and have them start feuding over pizza.
This is what Vince McMahon is doing with the best wrestler in the world, ladies and gentlemen. Take notes.
Pizza.
Take notes. But you want to talk about this Vince segment before the next match? Speaking of,
so
this quick summary.
So Vince rolls up to the arena, and the wrestlers are cheering him like the fucking Messiah just pulled up, like he's the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Nobody is allowed to bow to Vince McMahon at any show. Anybody who bows to Vince McMahon is supporting someone who does not care about his employees.
So when Vince came out of the limo, I was like, oh shit, Vince. You don't see Vince a lot. So when you see Vince, some shit's gonna go down. And that feeling immediately went away when he pulled out a prop from the movie. He pulled out an egg. And he tells us that this is The Rock gave him this egg. So then, cut to backstage. Roman Reigns appears, and he goes to Vince's dressing room or to his office. And I'm like, oh shit, Reigns and Vince? That could be fun. That feeling immediately went away when the fucking egg is center of the camera. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, if this is one of those stupid commercials, you don't put Reigns in there. You put The Miz. You put the Street Profits. You put
R-Truth.
Fucking no. R-Truth.
Yeah.
Not my tribal chief.
Exactly.
So Vince starts talking about, this isn't a prop from the movie. This is Cleopatra's actual egg. Yes, Vince, because I would believe that you would be in possession of that.
Excellent.
I know
Vince
The Rock
impression.
is a huge movie star, but I highly doubt he has the power to get Cleopatra's egg.
Right. Well, it's
I don't even know why I'm explaining this.
It's because The Rock is going to acknowledge me at WrestleMania 39. So, ladies and gentlemen, if this is the setup to how we get Roman Reigns versus The Rock at a WrestleMania, like,
I'm going to throw myself off a bridge.
Vince
starts talking about The Rock to Reigns. And think about all the billions and millions of ways they could have gotten to this point. They could have said, The Rock made his debut at this pay-per-view. You know what this is right here? This is The Rock's replica, the first ever WWE championship he ever held.
Yeah.
He could have said, you will never measure up to this. And that could have fueled Reigns. Anything.
Yeah. Anything
but
but
fucking
this.
Prop from the movie. Believe it or not, we're not done. We're not done talking about this. To be continued.
Screw this. Yeah, I want to talk about something fun. Can we talk about something fun now? I'm ready. How about RK Bro versus the Usos in a tag team match?
I was excited for this one.
I was, and Randy Orton, give him credit where it's due, because he now holds the all-time record for the most pay-per-view matches in WWE history, just beating out Mayor Kane right now, who's in quite hot water right now. This is not, it's not one of those types of shows, but yeah, he does hold that record. And Tomas and I were talking about this. The RK Bro remix theme song is freaking great. It's the stuff of legends.
Took a minute to grow on me, but I was humming it in my head today, and I listened to it, and I was just like, this is good.
It really is.
This is good.
Yep.
WWE, hold off a little more, a little longer, please. Just get through the end of the year before splitting these guys up. At least until the end of the year.
This is the WrestleMania match for sure. Matt Riddle versus Randy Orton for sure. But this is a very, very good tag team match that they had. I mean, the Usos, one of the best tag teams, like one of the best tag teams, if not the best tag team that they have right now.
I like the story they were telling with this match, with the Riddle taking all of the heat and kind of what Randy Orton has been saying on Raw. And the Usos were even poking Riddle when saying this, saying like, you're too soft. You're too nice. You need to be more like your tag team partner. And Riddle was digging deep down and saying like, I'm not relying on Randy Orton. I can be vicious just like him. It was a really cool little story that kind of developed in this match.
Yeah, it really was. And Matt Riddle, let me just say that he is probably one of the best sellers in this company right now, because he took that hard Umaga buster in the corner from Jay, I want to say. Riddle's facials, oh my God, it looks like he was just run over by a Mack truck, or like he just got the
Do you
Pfizer.
think Chris Lash would be rolling his eyes right now?
Oh, yeah. No, he totally would. But no, it's just saying that Riddle looks like he just got the Pfizer booster shot. And I know that because, I just got the booster myself about a week and a half ago, and I had some really heinous side effects from it. So everybody go get boosted. It's worth it. So.
Oh, yeah. Whenever I find a free moment, I will.
But yeah, so I mean, there's massive heat on Matt Riddle, and he finally gets the hot tag to Randy Orton. Riddle does have a flurry of kicks thrown in there, but then you get a super kick sandwich. Jimmy goes up to the top rope, goes for the Uso splash, and Randy Orton with a gorgeous RKO out of nowhere. Wasn't my favorite RKO out of nowhere, but it was still really, really damn cool. And Randy,
what was even cooler is that Orton hit the RKO, and Jimmy, or was it Jay, still hit the Samoan shot on Riddle as he was coming down.
He sure did.
That was so
he sure did.
Cool.
It was a clean ass RKO is what it was.
I saw it coming from a mile away, because you always know when Orton's setting up for these RKOs. But it was just so fucking cool. And I can't believe Orton is still finding new ways to RKO people. We've seen Orton launching Seth Rollins into the heavens for an RKO out of the curb stomp. We've seen Randy Orton RKO AJ Styles out of midair. We've seen Randy Orton RKO Matt Sydal out of a shooting star press. We've seen Randy Orton catch CM Punk in midair with an RKO at WrestleMania. And
what's next?
That was like 10 years ago.
What's next?
And we're still getting cool shit like this.
An RKO out of a Bro Derek, maybe? If Randy Orton
if he can do it.
If Randy Orton can pull that off, I will be very, very impressed. Eventually, once they fight at WrestleMania, spoiler alert. But
no, RKO out of a floating bro.
Oh,
that would be hard
you're
to pull
tempting
off,
me.
But
you're tempting me. But,
we're talking about.
So this is a 3.5 star tag team match. I'm comfortable giving it that high of a rating. Very, very fun. Raw is dominating. Who really cares about the Survivor Series at this point? Like, it's just all about these like dream matches, I guess. RK Bro versus the Usos.
Once RK Bro won, I was like, holy shit, Raw is just winning every single match. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't matter anymore who wins these next couple matches. But it didn't matter to begin with, because WWE's not keeping score.
WWE really wasn't keeping score. Yeah, so this will come into play I'm
gonna have a very hard take, and this pains me to say. If WWE really wants to do brand versus brand, bring back bragging rights.
Thank you. At least it makes sense there. At least it's a throwaway pay-per-view there. It's the Survivor Series. Like, Survivor Series,
the Big Four.
Yeah. Okay. So before we get into this women's elimination match, let me just get this rant out of the way real quick. Survivor Series needs a serious overhaul. Like, this is not like, 1998, which we just reviewed with a tournament in one night, literally all about survival of the fittest. This is not 2002, where you have an Elimination Chamber match, the first ever Elimination Chamber match. This is not 2003, where you have a classic Survivor Series match, Team Austin versus Team Bischoff, and if Austin loses, he's gone from the company forever. This is not Survivor Series 2001, ending the invasion angle. Like,
hell, this isn't Survivor Series 2005, the original Team Raw versus Team SmackDown.
At least that made sense. Because, they were running invasion angles all over the place, and they continued it on into Armageddon, the next pay-per-view after that. Like, this is holding no ramifications for day one. This is holding no ramifications for the Royal Rumble. Like, Survivor Series, Vince McMahon knows how Survivor Series works. He's done it many times in the past. I don't know what compelled him into doing SmackDown versus Raw every year from that point, other than the fact that it's very lazy.
Sheer laziness.
It is very lazy. Wrestling is not that hard. You can be a lot more creative with the Survivor Series. Like,
in 2016, it was cool because it was the revival of the brand extension. 2017 was amazing because Shane McMahon took Raw under siege.
Yes.
And one of the best segments I've seen in the modern era. But then 2018, it shit the bed with that match. In 2019, you threw NXT in the mix, and I don't care. I'm still going to say it. It was a clusterfuck.
It really was.
2020 was very bland, and this one was probably even more bland than last year.
Mm-hmm.
And last year was in the fucking Thunderdome.
Last year was in the freaking Thunderdome, and it had the Undertaker's retirement ceremony with no fans. That's so depressing to think about. But anyway, next matchup. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay, I feel bad. I forgot about this match.
Yeah.
Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, women's wise. And let me just say this right now, the way these teams were constructed, this was way better than the men's match.
Mm-hmm.
On Team Raw, you have Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, one half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, fuck her tag team partner, Nikki ASH, I guess.
Nikki
Liv
Ash.
Morgan, who will be
cooler.
challenging for Becky Lynch's Raw Women's title. You have Carmella. And you have Queen Zelina Vega, who is the first ever winner of the Queen of the Ring tournament, the Queen's Crown tournament. You know what? I'm going to say it, good for her. Good for her. They're actually using her.
Yeah, they really are.
She is embracing this gimmick very well because I think Zelina Vega benefits from this gimmick.
Yeah.
If she's going to be a snarky bitch heel, then at least give her a reason to. Against Team SmackDown, which is Sasha Banks, who is a babyface again for whatever reason. Shayna Baszler, Shotzi, who just got a whole overhaul in her gimmick and is heel for whatever reason, Natalya, and Toni Storm. They finally remembered her.
Okay, strap the rocket to Liv Morgan, strap the rocket to Toni Storm because they're both great. Both of them are great.
But unfortunately, Storm is in this match because for whatever reason, they decided to kick Aaliyah off the team. I know it was random, but I kind of wanted to see what Aaliyah could do.
Well, that's like, I would much rather see Toni Storm in this spot.
But at least Storm is entering a championship program with Charlotte Flair. I think that's more than a fair trade-off.
You want a hot take? Toni Storm should beat Charlotte. Toni Storm.
I want to see that match at day one.
Toni Storm should absolutely beat Charlotte there. I don't care what anybody says. How are you going to build new stars if Charlotte is just beating everybody? How are you going to do that? Like,
hey, WWE. You actually had something going with Nikki Ash, and then you fucked it up 30 days later.
And she was nowhere to be found on this Survivor Series team, so...
Nope.
Yep, because...
One half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, and they told her to go fuck herself.
Because I guess Carmella getting pinned after putting on a replica Kane mask is, more important. So... But yeah, Toni Storm immediately pinned Carmella after Rhea Ripley knocked the mask out of Carmella because Rhea Ripley knows how stupid the mask is. So Toni Storm just gets rid of her right there. So
totally off topic, but how come we never talked about how much of a banger Toni Storm's theme is?
It really is. Oh my god, it's so good.
Fucking love it.
Fucking
love it. That was the only thing I liked about her heel turn in NXT is the change to that theme song.
Mm-hmm. The perfect fit for her, absolutely. But the whole story of this match is Team SmackDown is infighting. Nobody likes that Sasha Banks is the captain, especially Shotzi Blackheart, who I'm very, very happy to see get the spotlight as someone who is from the Bay Area also.
Oh, absolutely. I'm so happy to see her get the spotlight.
Yeah, for sure. But there's a lot of infighting with Sasha. Sasha and Bianca is revisited, which is a nice big pop, and the crowd was loud in there for Sasha and Bianca going head to head again.
If Banks was the team captain for SmackDown, then Bianca Belair was easily the captain for Team Raw.
Oh yeah. No, Bianca Belair was front bidding on Team Raw, so
also
there was nobody else.
Brian Zane made a really good point with this match too. Thank you WWE for not kind of dropping Bianca Belair off the face of the earth after she lost the title. She is still in a very strong place in the card. And after she is done stomping Doudrop into the dirt, hopefully we can get back to her being the women's champion.
Well,
make quick work of her, please, Belair. Quick work of her.
Well, yeah, no, I think Bianca Belair and Piper Niven could have a really good match together. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but
the reason why I'm saying it is because I want her to stomp that gimmick into the dirt.
Please, just so I don't have to keep calling her by her actual name, because I refuse to use that other name that she has. But
well, if they're gonna do shit with her, then I am gonna call her by her shit name, because I'm not going to associate the absolute fucking atrocity that is Doudrop on Raw to Piper Niven having amazing last women standing matches with Toni Storm in NXT UK, having absolutely amazing false count anywhere. Was it Storm? Yeah, she fought Toni Storm.
You sure it wasn't Kaylee Ray?
She fought Kaylee Ray in a false count anywhere match, I think.
That's what I was thinking of. That's the one I really like.
Now, when I hear Piper Niven, I'm thinking back to her classics in NXT UK, not to this fucking shit she's doing on Raw. That was totally off topic. Let's get back to the match.
Yeah, no, just you wait until Walter's called up to the main roster. Just wait until you see the shit they're going to do with Walter.
It's not going to happen.
But in any case, speaking of Toni Storm,
never going to happen.
Toni Storm just got another elimination off the Storm Zero on Queen Zelina. So, you know, hey, that's what should have happened in the tournament. I thought Toni Storm should have won that first round match. That I was at live, by the way. It only went 90 seconds, and Toni Storm was pinned just like that. Myself and Chris were flabbergasted. But in any case, yeah. So, Liv Morgan is tagged in and she pins Toni Storm right there off of Oblivion, and I'm like,
fuck you.
I mean,
fuck you.
I mean, I like both of these women, but like,
you.
Come on. But hey, you know, it should make you feel better that Sasha Banks pinned Liv Morgan with a frog splash immediately after that.
Okay.
This was a weird elimination
I hate
order.
Liv Morgan. I just love Toni Storm more.
Yeah, no, me too. Everybody loves Toni Storm, and everybody loves Liv Morgan. And there were loud boos when she was pinned by Sasha Banks. Loud boos. So, yeah, but Shayna Baszler pins Rhea Ripley off of a move. And it's 4-on-1 Bianca Belair all by herself.
If Ripley's real quick. If Ripley's gonna go down, at least she went down to somebody credible. McIntyre and Lashley. At least they got that part right.
Chill. But
remember when Ripley and Baszler were the main event of NXT?
Yep, I do remember that. Remember when Rhea Ripley celebrated with all those fans in the ring? Oh, good times. Good times. But Bianca Belair is at a 4-on-1 disadvantage, and then the SmackDown team gets infighting because they do not appreciate Sasha Banks. It's 3 heels against 1 babyface and Sasha Banks. And she okay.
My biggest issue with this spot right here. Why? How stupid can you be?
Well,
use your head. There's 4 of you, and there's 1 of her. If you don't like Banks, I get it. Put your differences aside for like 2 minutes. Get rid of Belair and then beat the fuck out of Banks after the match. Because think about it. Shotzi, Natalya, and Baszler, that could be a fun little stable. You know, why not? They're not doing anything else with them.
It's a weird group to put together. I mean, it's like, you know, it's about as weird as Natalya and Tamina would be if they were a tag team, you know, if they were a tag team. I'm not saying that WWE would be that stupid to put them together.
Natalya and Baszler are already kind of forming a little alliance, so why not throw Shotzi in there, make her the badass leader, and if Shotzi wants to go after Banks that bad, at least she's got some backup with her now.
Maybe. I don't know. But, I mean, so that whole idea didn't bother me as much as the execution of it, because Sasha Banks was counted out, even though she broke the referee's count at least 3 different times within that whole sequence. At least 3. Like half of Sasha's body was in the ring. The ref was at 6. Start over the count. right there. Start it over.
How
If
many
she's in the ring-
times have we seen like ring generals like Triple H wrestle a match where they're working someone on the outside and they will go roll into the ring and roll back out so they can continue the assault? It's called ring psychology. Obviously, something that WWE doesn't know nowadays.
WTF. But
Fucking
yeah, but
he makes me mad.
you know where this is going though. Sasha's counted out, and then Bianca just beats all three of them in succession. She rolls up Natalya. She then hits one Grand Slam on Shayna Baszler, who, remember, was unstoppable in NXT, and she's not even pinned with Bianca's finisher. And Shayna's out of there, so it's down to Bianca.
If anyone should have
Shotzi.
gone down to the roll up, it should have been Baszler.
Yeah, not Natty, bless her heart, but
No.
like it would have even made more sense to have Natty go down to her best friend's finisher, the Glam Slam. Like, but WWE writers just don't think about it. They don't think about it. And
Okay. There's some things I really like about this, and there's things I don't like about it. What I like about it is, yes, Bianca Belair is a beast, and they should be booking her as one. This is everyone's complaints they had last year that Belair wasn't doing this. So in that regard, I really like that Belair is booked to be very strong in this match. But at the expense of making SmackDown look like a bunch of dweebs.
Yep. Exactly.
Belair came back from a 4-on-1 disadvantage. That's so impressive.
Yeah,
But
that's what Roman Reigns did in 2013. Everybody remember that? That was when his big push started.
But who did he take down there? He took down his own cousins in the Usos and Rey Mysterio. A guy who wasn't doing jack shit.
And Dustin Rhodes.
If you're gonna
like,
that's how you have someone take down. Take them people that are already dweebs, not people that you're trying to build. Not someone like Shotzi who you're trying to build. Not someone like Baszler who's the most dominant female in recent history.
I mean,
company man.
2.5, 2 3/4. I mean, again, a very mixed bag for a Survivor Series match, but
I'll give it 2 3/4. I still like the bird.
I think it was better than the live crowd was giving it credit for, because this is what you were alluding to earlier. This crowd in Brooklyn was very disrespectful for this match. There were points where they were doing the wave. They were chanting. There was a point where lower bowl section was chanting CM Punk. There was a guy sitting on the floor up against the hard cam, and he had my exact same thoughts if a chant like CM Punk were to ring out a WWE show. He stood right up, he looked at those people, and he was like, what the heck are you doing, guys? Go to an AEW show if you want to see that. Like,
exactly. Why are you paying money to go to a WWE show if you're just going to do that? Because here's the thing. I like every single woman who is in this match.
Yeah.
Every single woman in this match is a good wrestler.
They're great. They're great. I don't have a single issue with these, with any of these workers at all. I think
it's not like the men's match with fucking Happy Corbin and 80-year-old Jeff Hardy and.
Oh, relax.
And
relax. I don't think Jeff Hardy is 80 years old. I'm looking this up. I'm fact checking you. No,
he's 78.
No. He's not 78. He probably has like 78-year-old hips after all the jumping he's been doing. Jeff Hardy is 44 years old, sir.
Yeah, close enough.
Don't tell any of your 44-year-old friends that. But all right,
my GMs are going to be blowing up tonight.
Oh yeah, but speaking of blowing up. My word, this main event is the only one I was looking forward to going into this show. Big E versus Roman Reigns, champion versus champion. Let me just say that it did not disappoint one bit. It was vicious. It was the psychology was there for a Roman Reigns main event. Big E looks like a freaking superstar.
The build on the SmackDown side of this was absolutely brilliant. The sub feud of Roman Reigns and King Woods going into this match, just to have that glorious last episode of SmackDown where Big E showed up to invade. I fucking love that. You know me, usually I don't like that. But in this case, it was beautifully executed. Personally, I would have loved to have seen Big E jump the barricade, but it would have taken away that awesome visual of him just throwing the Usos to the side and then his music hitting and him just standing on the stage and Roman Reigns looking like he just saw a ghost.
It was beautifully executed.
It was really, really nicely executed. I really enjoyed that aspect. I also, like, as cheesy as it may sound, I did enjoy Roman Reigns, like, totally, like, demolishing King Woods' props, his crown, his scepter, his throne, him and the Usos just, like, running roughshod over it. I loved the fact that Roman in kayfabe hospitalized Sir Kofi, just to build more heat. I mean, Sir Kofi could be a viable challenger for Roman as well, not just King Woods. I mean, I'd love to see Roman versus King Woods more than the next guy, but him and Sir Kofi could have a really nice SmackDown main event as well. But
absolutely. And I'm looking forward to hopefully Woods getting the pay-per-view title shot. Come on, WWE. I believe in you. You can hold it off another month. You can do it.
Even give it to him at the Royal Rumble. I don't think King Woods is going to win the Royal Rumble, but like you could have Roman versus King Woods for the Universal title at that point too. Perhaps even with a stipulation. I don't want to hear you say last man standing for that, but like
how about triple threat with King Woods and Kofi Kingston and have it be a 2-on-1 assault? You know, can Reigns beat two guys at the same time?
I like that idea.
That would be a fun match.
Yeah,
that would be a really fun match.
Really dig that idea because neither King Woods or Kofi is going to win the Royal Rumble next year. I don't really know who's going to win the Rumble at this point, just because Vince is releasing half of his talent. So, but anyway.
Yeah, it's a shame we can't speculate a guy like Keith Lee.
Yep, especially after you didn't pay for his hospital bills. But this
sucks we can't speculate a guy like Killer Cross.
Yeah, but I mean, getting back to this match though.
Everything I said about him. Anywho, that's another conversation for another day.
Another conversation for another day. But this match was very, very intense for sure. I mean, even just the lockups. Big E was getting the one up on Roman. I almost called him the Roman, like Bryan Danielson used to call Ryan Reeves the Ryback back in the day. Like. It's one of those nights. Yep, but so Roman.
So what did Big E say on Raw a few weeks ago? Big meaty men slapping big meat. Was that the quote? Because that's what this match was.
Hell, I don't remember.
And
I mean,
kind of have a little gripe against this.
Why?
I love big hoss fights. I really do. WWE don't rely on them and don't think that's all we want to see.
Exactly.
Because I could see Vince being the guy to say like, oh shit, they love big guys. I'm like, no. It's not that we like big guys.
No.
We like big guys that can wrestle.
We like big guys like Roman Reigns. We like big guys like Big E. We like big guys like Drew McIntyre. And going as far back as last year, fine, I'll say it. We like big guys like Sheamus, who can actually go in there and put together a really damn good match.
Hell, we like big guys like Braun Strowman.
We like big guys like Bray Wyatt. And where is he? Huh? Where is he? So, anyway, Big E, I mean, he's hitting that apron spear on Roman Reigns to the outside, and I'm like, that's the best he's ever done it, but it still scares the living shit out of me every time he tries it.
That was a scary one, because when Big E executed the spear, it looked like he was hugging onto Roman Reigns' legs, so he wouldn't eat shit as badly as he did, because he still fell directly on his face. I thought we were past the days of Big E botching that move, but oh my God, it scares the shit out of me every time.
He got right back up and was fired up and was jaw-jacking with the crowd. I mean, not in the way that Roman was jaw-jacking with the crowd. That was super entertaining, the Roman banter that was going on. I loved that. He was like, you will acknowledge me. You will do this. And you will be like, Brooklyn, I don't want to hear you open your stupid mouths anymore. Be quiet.
Ever since WrestleMania this past year, I just love how Roman Reigns has been able to finally interact with the crowd with this gimmick, because they eat out of the palm of his hand.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. They sure do. They sure do. But lo and behold, I mean, the match becomes very, very dramatic once it reaches its conclusion. It was your typical slow-paced Roman beginning, similar to his match with Edge at Money in the Bank. Then it gets really, really amazing. Big E does hit the big ending. Roman gets his foot on the rope. Big E goes for another one.
Big E kicks out of the spear. So look at that. Yep. Big E was able to kick out of a spear. Roman Reigns needed the rope to get out of the big ending.
Yep, he sure did.
And then I know what your favorite spot in the match was.
Yep. Go ahead and say it.
Yep. In the midst of all this, Roman Reigns hits a rock bottom.
More.
Michael Cole tries to say a rock bottom like slam. And no, I think it was either Graves or was it McAfee? I couldn't say no, that was a rock bottom. That was straight up a rock bottom.
It sure was, man. And it was a great looking rock bottom. I don't know if like Dwayne has been teaching him that or if he's been actually, testing it at the Performance Center to try and like, copy and paste it. But it looks really good. Looked really, really good. And I will mark out when Roman hits it on the Rock himself. So
my favorite visual of this match is that Roman Reigns hits a Superman punch on Big E. He goes into the corner, sets up his whole, setup for the spear. Ooh, wah. And then Big E just walks right up to him. Reigns looks right back at him, and Big E's right in his face. I have never seen anyone do that before. Like, Big E was like, get that weak-ass Superman punch out of here. I ain't scared of you and your little fucking kitten growls. Kitten meows.
This is how you make a WWE champion look strong in defeat at the Survivor Series. This is, I feel like one of the biggest strong suits of these, like, more modern Survivor Series since the second brand extension started. Like, the WWE champion has looked very, very strong in all of the defeats. Bryan Danielson
considering the Universal title, the Universal title is only 5 years old. And that 5 years, WWE, I'll give them credit. They've done a good job of making this such a credible title to the point where, the Universal Champion is winning almost every year at Survivor Series.
Yep. Brock Lesnar beat AJ Styles at Survivor Series 2017 in another excellent match. Brock Lesnar beat Bryan Danielson in a barn burner in 2018, which I'm still regretting that I didn't drive down to LA for that show because that would have been so much fun to actually see that live.
Bray Wyatt was the Universal Champion going into 2019, and he had a really good match with Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, that was no brand warfare, that's for sure. Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns had a killer match at last year's Survivor Series, even though it was in the Thunderdome. But this was probably one of the more dramatic main events you'll see in WWE this year with absolutely no stakes. I hate that.
And I give all the credit in the world to Reigns and Big E.
Oh yeah,
I give no credit to WWE.
They made it work for sure. And Roman eventually does pin Big E with one big final spear. And the Tribal Chief wins. Was there any doubt? I mean, God bless Big E's heart, but there's no way Roman was losing this. So
I was going The Rock. No,
the Rock says
because they were teasing it. You got to admit they were teasing it, and I'm not mad that we didn't get him. Oh, I really hate to deflate you like this, man, but we have to talk about the conclusion to that stupid egg storyline.
Oh no, I don't want to talk about the egg anymore.
Fine, I'll talk about it. DeVille and Pierce get called into Vince's office, and the egg is gone. And Vince wants to find out where the egg is. So he wants Pierce to interview every single WWE superstar, not in the course of Raw and SmackDown, but everyone on Raw tomorrow night, which means they're all going to be at Raw tonight. And I'm not going to watch the show because y'all know how I feel about that.
Well,
fuck off WWE.
Damn.
This was a very hard pay-per-view to sit through. I'm not going to lie.
You think so?
It was very hard. Yeah, I don't want to dip it below 7, but I will be okay because of Big E and Reigns, because of RK Bro and the Usos, and because of the opener. It gets a solid 7. I can't go higher than that.
Yeah, I can't go higher than a 7 on this show either. You guys, you're thinking alike with me. I think the
Big
wrestling
E and Reigns suck balls, which I don't think that's even possible.
No,
I would have given it like a 6.5, but no, I'll give it a 7. The main event was solid. The opener was great. I liked the women's match more than a lot of people did. I liked RK Bro versus the Usos.
Yeah.
But everything else was just fucking stupid. By the way, I give Big E and Reigns 3 3/4.
I gave it.
I can't give it a solid 4.
I gave that Big E Roman match 4. I really loved it.
If the ending was a little more dramatic, I would have given it a 4. But
if it had stakes, if it had stakes in it, but I mean,
if Big E wins, King Woods gets the Universal title shot.
I can't get higher than a 7 on this show just because, like I said earlier, Survivor Series needs a serious overhaul going into 2022 and beyond. And, you know, better yet, I mean, it would be a better show if the booking was better, if the booking at least made some more sense. WWE cannot just rely on excellent wrestlers and their excellent wrestling skills to put their product over the top. Look at what AEW is doing with their storytelling. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying copy off of what AEW is doing, but come up with some creative storylines. That's all I'm asking for. It's not that difficult. But
the biggest difference between WWE and AEW right now is that in AEW, that show is being written and produced by wrestling minds. Raw and SmackDown and these pay-per-views are being written and produced by fucking monkeys that have never spent one day in this business. The only people I can name back there that are actual wrestlers that are producers, Jamie Noble, Shane Helms, and Fit Finley.
yeah.
Everybody else is a fucking sitcom writer. They're a Hollywood producer. They've never even seen a wrestling match in their life. And in AEW, you have Arn. All jokes aside, you have Arn. You have Dean Malenko. You have Dustin. You have Sting. You have Big Show.
Chris
you have
Jericho.
Mark Henry, you
Christian
have Chris
Cage.
Jericho. You have Schiavone.
Brian Danielson.
JR. You have Danielson. You have Punk. You have
The list
so
goes on
many
and on.
wrestling minds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
that was a side rant, but
Yeah.
that's how I can go off of just what you're saying.
I feel you. I
WWE,
feel you, dude.
it's not too late for WWE.
No.
I'm always going to have hope in this company, even though I joke about that I don't.
Yeah, no, they're not going out of business at all. They're not like a WCW. They have all the money in the world, like despite what they say about budget cuts being their reason for releasing all that damn talent.
You know
But,
what's worse
like,
than them going out of business? Them producing such shitty TV to the point where I'm not interested anymore.
yeah. Yeah. But in any
I'm
case,
always going to keep an eye on Raw and SmackDown. I'm not going to watch tonight unless something really fucking crazy gets spoiled for me, and I don't care. Go ahead and spoil it for me.
well,
But
I mean,
will
I haven't looked at spoilers like since we started recording, but
always have Raw and SmackDown playing in the background. But if it don't do it, WWE. Don't
Yeah.
do it. Don't do it.
Don't
Don't
give
do it.
them don't give them the satisfaction of beating AEW in the ratings because they don't deserve it. So in any case, yeah,
Don't do it.
definitely stay tuned for more exciting content on this channel very, very soon. This channel is on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So Mas and I are talking a lot of wrestling going into the new year. Of course, you got day one, coming up in 2022. Holy smokes, 2021 is almost over. But December, you got TakeOver War Games. You also have, so we still need to talk about Bad Blood 2003 for sure to keep up with that retro. We're going to talk about Vengeance 03 for sure. Winter is Coming was confirmed for AEW. The second annual Winter is Coming. I definitely want to talk about that. Absolutely. And then I also did put out an audience poll for a retro WWE pay-per-view review on the network because we're not getting one in December. So I do have a few choices on the poll. WCW Starrcade 1997 with that infamous main event. Tomas suggested Fully Loaded 2000, which is a show I would love to discuss. And Armageddon 2000 with that gigantic Hell in a Cell match. So yeah, definitely look out for more exciting stuff coming out very soon. So
don't worry, we're gonna keep y'all busy. We're gonna keep that hunger satisfied.
We're gonna keep that satisfied. Absolutely. So go ahead and smash that subscribe button, smash that thumbs up as well. Tomas, thank you again for joining me. It's always a pleasure. But yeah, commence that back talk, everybody. See you guys for the next one.